Shabbat Shalom to everybody, and welcome to First Yahudin Messianic Temple here in Lake Placid, Florida. I am his servant, Maria Simpson, and thank you for inviting us to your home, yourselves, your cars, wherever you are, because I believe this is a very powerful message, and it's really dedicated to women. And I hope you men out there that are listening to this, I hope you're listening to this message, because this is going to help you to understand the woman in your life, your mother, your sister, your wife, whoever she is. And this is very important. The women need to understand who really they are, and the power that really that we possess. Now, before I start, I just want to let you know, we understand that there's two types of women in the world. There's the woman that builds, and there's the woman that destroys. But I don't want to speak today about Jezebel spirits or controlling women or women that come to do danger. I'm really speaking to all those women that have been abused in some form, mentally, sexually, physically, spiritually, somewhere along the line. I want to speak to these women that they need to hear this. And I'm going to tell you, to all the women out there, to all the ladies, you have a power that you possess that needs to be unleashed. Literally, it needs to be unleashed. It needs to be unleashed. Let it go. I believe that you're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to learn why loving yourself is very important, and understanding the gift that the Most High has given you. Like I said, I am not going to talk about women that are controlling, that come to do danger. I don't want to talk about that. I really want to talk about the power that is inside of women. So let's start. The message today is titled, Woman, You Are Powerful. Now, as women that are listening to this message right now, I want you to imagine that we're sitting in a table and I am speaking to you. Whether you want to call it coaching, you want to call it maybe a role model or a teacher. See, the reason I bring this message is because I personally have been where you have been. And I believe all women need this. The greatest tragedy in life is not death, but life without a reason. It is dangerous to live and not know why you were given life. Now, this is both for men and women. Have you ever asked yourself these questions? Why am I here? What is the reason I exist, of my existence? And what is the meaning of life? Remember, without purpose in life, if you don't have a purpose in your life, it really will have no meaning. If you don't know what your target is, what are you shooting at, what is your aim, what is your goal, then what's the meaning? You just wake up and you become sort of like a puppet. It's a pattern. Okay? Today I'm going to talk about the power of a woman. The power that a woman possesses, literally, even though she uses her physical body, sort of like, and I'm going to be very honest, I'm going to be like an open book. Is that okay with all of you? And if it's not, that's okay, because I'm going to be like an open book no matter what. The power that a woman possesses, really, even though she uses her body, is her spirit and her mind. That's number one. But the amazing thing, how the same woman who lifts other people often cannot lift herself. And she has the power to do it. Woman, I'm speaking to you now. You have a purpose, you have a destiny, and you are very powerful. Don't allow circumstances and other people to tell you different, because it is not so. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 and 27, Elohim created man in his own image. In the image of them, he created them, male and female. Created he, them. Created he, them. Elohim honored you humans by making us his own image, male and female. Now, God, Elohim, is not a physical being. But Elohim, Yahweh, the creator, what he has is characters. He gets certain characteristics to men and certain characteristics to women. And we're going to see what these characteristics are. Okay? Now, these characteristics does not come from any human being. It comes from him. That he has placed in a man and he has placed in a woman. But science is also showing us the difference between men and women are rooted in biology. The fact that we were created males and female in Elohim's or God's image points to the deeper reality of masculinity and femininity. Every woman will show her femininity in a unique way. And each man will display masculinity in a unique way. Our masculinity and femininity are the first in our body, but then seen in the person and our identity and character. Both masculine and feminine reflect things about Elohim's or God's character, justice and mercy, strength and beauty, nurture and protection. Being a male or a female isn't just about culture stereotypes. Masculine and feminine characteristics reflect something much deeper, attributes of God, Elohim, that resonate in the core being of our souls and personalities. Your personalities, my personalities come from him. Now, that we have been brought up in a culture, different foods, different patterns, different way of thinking. That is a different thing. I'm not talking today about how we were raised with a culture or our parents or whatever we were born in a certain country. No. Males were giving the character of Elohim in authority. Males are in authority. But the women, the feminine, was given the power. To understand authority and the masculine, we need to look at Elohim, God. God, Elohim, is the ultimate authority, and that's where the masculine, he is also the source and sustainer of life, femininity. He holds us in his hand and sustains our lives day by day. Masculine bring truth, feminine bring mercy. The masculine seeks truth, the feminine seeks mercy. Now, please, let me see how I can relate this to you so you can understand the deepness of the power of a woman. when God, Elohim, when he created man, male and female, he created them both. The first thing that he did, he creates a spiritual male and a spiritual female. These are called characters, and both male and females are called man. Okay? And this we can read in Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. So Elohim, God created man in his own image. In the image of Elohim, God created he, him. Male and female created he, them. Okay, that's number one. So the first thing that the Most High did, both man and woman, which were female, they were not man and woman. First, they were female and male and female. He gave them his characters. Elohim's, God's character. He put it in the male and in the female. Okay? Now, the second thing he did, he begins to form man, okay? And now, first he gives them female, male, but now he's going to make them male. I'm going to make them man and woman. This you can find in Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, and he says, and Yahweh Elohim formed man out of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostril the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Now, the second thing, he makes the man and the woman. But the most interesting thing about this is that now they were both attached. So he separates the woman or the female, and he begins to shape. He begins to shape the woman and the female. Now she's already got his Yahweh's character, and so does the man. So what does he do? He makes Adam, the male, to fall asleep. And what happens here in chapter 2, verse 20 and 21? It says, and Elohim and God caused a deep sleep upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh thereof. And the rib which Yahweh Elohim taken from the man, he made a woman and brought her to the man. Now, and what did the man said? Verse 23, and Adam said, this is now bones of my bones, flesh of my bones, and she shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. And you know what is fascinating? The reason a woman is very powerful. If you notice the name man and woman, basically, they're both the same, except for the woman has a W-O in front of it. Woman. Because Adam, when he saw the shape, the beautiful shape, the body, so to speaking, Adam did not see her characteristic that he had placed before that. So what did Adam say? He says, whoa, man. There's something about the W-O, the whoa, that is the power that the woman has, that men do not have. And as I go along, I'll explain more. And the third thing, the serpent is the enemy of the man and the woman to destroy their feminine and their masculine characteristics of Elohim. The serpent was talking to the physical side of the woman, not her spiritual feminine side. Why? The enemy then and now wants to destroy this power that a woman possesses. She possesses what is called her feminine side, her spiritual power, the power that all women have. The secret is out. If ever there was a secret, a woman has the incredible power to make a man feel very big inside or very small. And her own happiness may depend on how she uses this tremendous God-given power. And let me express this again. I am not speaking about women, because there are women that will destroy a man. There are women that will destroy their family. I'm sorry, but it's true. Talking about women having the power to excel, the characteristics of Elohim inside of her. Now, to understand this power that a woman has, what does it mean to have, what is power? The power means the ability to do something or act in a particular way, especially as a faculty or quality or potential. To these women that I'm speaking to, you have a potential. You have a quality that no man will ever have. I don't care how much money he has. I don't care if he's a prince, a king. I don't care if they don't have it. What men have that Elohim has placed inside of them is authority. And only foolish men that don't understand that really sometimes they come against women and really oppress them and make them feel inferior, don't understand what they are doing to these women. A man should really reverence, not like she's a god, but reverence a woman because she's got a power that he does not possess. Out of every leader in the world, and I'm not going to say behind him, because a woman should never be behind a man. A woman should be next to a man. It's always a very powerful woman. Always very powerful woman, a wisdom woman, very powerful woman. Now, women are born to be overcomers in life. How is it? When you are born, ladies, and this is for you men too, so you understand the woman in your life better. When a woman is born, the first thing that she hits is puberty. She begins to be developed and it begins to hurt. Her chest begins to grow and it hurts. Then she begins to have her menstrual cycle, something that is kind of like weird, you know, and then you begin, and then when she gets married or when she has sex for the first time, the broken cherry, it hurts. Labor pains, menstrual pains, change of life, mood swings. Many women overcome ovarian cancer, breast cancer. Women, you are spiritual. You are a spiritual overcomer. You overcome emotional abuse, sexual abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, neglect abuse, oppression. You overcome these obstacles, which are some of them are very bad. Because the power that is inside of you is the characteristic of God, of Yahweh, of Elohim, of the Creator. And many men don't understand because they want what you have and they will never have that because God, Elohim, never gave them that. Elohim gave men authority, power to conquer, to build a house, to go to war, to be the breadwinner, to bring laws into his home, to protect. But what a woman has is to give that man that power. And many men, because of their insecurities, A lot of times they come against the woman because what happens? Now she's making more money than me. Now she's this and that. And what it becomes, you become what it's like you become and you're challenging. You're challenging each other. When a man, the male, and a woman, the female, comes together, this is when power unites. Women are not weak. Women are overcomers and powerful force. Ask any woman that has gone through labor pains to become a mother, what kind of pains are those? And not once, many have 6 and 7 children. It is a power that it is beyond our minds. It is beyond our spirit. It is something that we psychic ourselves. I'm not saying that women are better than men. This is not, no. I don't believe in this. But this is a message for women to come out of their closets, to come out of where they're at, to come out of their abusive state, to come out and to leave what I call vacuum cleaner people. What are vacuum cleaner people? People that suck the daylights out of you. Woman, you're powerful. You're beautiful. You're awesome. Your characteristics are inside of you. You need to ignite that faith, that power that is inside of you. And what has happened, maybe you have been in wrong relationships. Maybe in your family, maybe you have been the scapegoat. Maybe you have been the ugly duckling. I don't know. But I'm telling you, I don't care what has happened to you. What matters is what you are going to do from now on. Look at yourself. Look at how powerful, how great and beautiful and awesome you are. See, I've been where you have been. I have had 2 girls, 2 daughters. I have spoken to a lot of women. You need to believe in who you are. Not because you don't have to do and do and do it so you can be appreciated. So somebody can see your worth. See, people cannot see your worth because you are not looking at it. You don't recognize it. In 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7, Peter says, husband, honor your wife as unto the weaker vessels. I can see women being weak when it comes to strength. And I'm talking about body strength. We don't have the strength of a man. We really don't. But let me tell you, there's nothing weak about a woman. Because the most powerful thing a woman has is her mind and her spirit. To you mothers out there, if your child is being abused by somebody, doesn't matter, guarantee you will get the strength of 5 weightlifters like you never had before, and you will come against them. It is unbelievable the kind of power a woman possesses. Women are not weak. You have the strength to take risk. You learn from failures. You deal with remarks, insults, and stereotypes, and the courage to fight for what you believe in and to never give up, no matter how hard the challenge is. Being a female in a male-centric world requires the strength and confidence to deal with every obstacle and setback. You need to be strong enough to believe in yourself, even when people around you don't, and inspires others to do the same. A woman perseveres. A woman doesn't give up. And one of the traits, because we women have a lot, but one of them is that a woman is a prayer warrior. She doesn't give up. She will go into prayer and she will ask until whatever she's asking will come to pass. Most men will not do that. She perseveres. Women, you need to understand the fact that there is nothing within the biological gender that makes you less patient or less suitable than men. It is all up to you and your ability to learn and to reach your goals despite the uncertainty around you. Every woman is unique and has her own strength and weaknesses. And women have the ability to create. Women have the ability to make a difference in this world, to make a difference in her home, to make a difference in a family, to make a difference in her job, to make a difference wherever she goes. In Proverbs chapter 4, verse 1, Elohim says, "The wise woman builds her house, but the foolish tears it down with her own hands." Women are a precious gift from Elohim, but there are some things that all men need to know. All men need to know this. And this is for you, all men. See, all women know this. Even then, sometimes they kind of don't understand, but all women know this. Women are by far the deeper and more powerful than the two sexes. No matter how strong a man thinks he is like butter in the hands of a woman that he loves. It is only a woman that can carry a child for 9 months and raise that child to adulthood. And yet until that day the woman dies, only she will only know the real father of that child. Looking at what the Bible says about that awesome power that women has. Women has the power to build up and to tear down the man she loves. The secret is that, well, inside most men is a pretty insecure little boy who can blossom or wither depending in part of the godly wisdom of a woman who loves him. That woman is the life of any man, has incredible power to make him or break him. The sad thing about history, about women's life, the Bible really, in certain religion and certain legalism, they don't require for women to preach or to talk, because they always come to the woman, the first woman was the one that provoked the first sin. There was a saint called Saint Ambrosio that he concluded this: if we let women talk again, men will be in trouble. In the Catholic Church, it does not allow women to preach. In the Muslim fundamentalism, they mutilate women's sexual organs and cover their faces. Orthodox Jewish men start the day by saying, "Thank you, Adonai," or Hashem, which means Yahweh or Lord, for not making me a woman. And they say women know how to sew, how to embroider, they know how to suffer, and they know how to cook, and they know how to be obedient. They know how to be a daughter, selfless mother, resigned wives. But the echoes of men's masculine voices shadow of the bodies. When somebody wants to praise the national hero, they say, behind every great man, there is a woman. And what they're doing with this, they're reducing the woman to a sad condition of a chairback. A woman is not a chairback. A woman is not behind the man. A woman is not above the man. A woman is not in front of the man. A woman is next to the man the way originally supposed to be. Men, therefore, tragically think that women are the weaker vessels. What they fail to appreciate is that the weak vessel is a powerful anointing that a woman can use to still the strongest tsunami of the man to a whisper by simply raising her one finger. If a woman realizes her power and decides to use it, she can own a man irrespective of who or what he is. A woman is a mother, a wife, a girlfriend, a lover, a businesswoman, a daughter, a best friend, a multitasker, a mentor, a cheerleader, a nurturer, a team player, etc. A woman's power over a man dates back to biblical days. Adam was crushed by Eve. Samson, who was very powerful, surrendered to Delilah. David fell a 9-foot Goliath, yet fell under the spell of Bathsheba. Solomon, who ruled over the golden years of Israel, surrounded to women. Imagine a roll call of 700 wives, 300 concubines. Today, studies show that 90% of all decisions of men are done under the influence of a woman. If Eve was to be created first, or was created first, Eve would have written the book of Genesis. Eve would have made crystal clear, and she would have said, if Eve would have written the book of Genesis, how would the first night of human love be? Eve would have made things crystal clear. You will have pain, you will give in pain, and your husband will dominate you. Eve will say that all that were slander of Adam to the press. Did you know that women were not supposed to sing in churches if they were on purity because they had their periods? But a nun, Hildegarda Bingen, she challenged the bishops. And she said, women have a central position. And dirty blood is not blood of menstruation, but the blood of wars. Now this was a nun. Woman or women, you may be the tower of faith and prayer for others, but impotent when it comes to your own limitations. What am I talking about? To all women who are listening to me right now, you are loaded with creativity, with uniqueness, emotions, strength, beauty, and power. Woman, you are the shield, the defender, and the foundation of the home. Even as the man is the head, the woman is the neck, and without which the neck, it will fall. The greatest mistake that any man could ever make is to underestimate or treat with amusement the power of a woman. For it is only a fool that could honestly believe that he can confine a woman of having babies and to simply cooking in the kitchen. Woman, you are unquenchable because that is your feminine personality. You're full of energy and enthusiasm. You are impossible to stop. You are unbeatable. You are not able to be defeated. You are unstoppable. You are impossible to stop and to prevent. You are unfathomable, incapable of being fully explored or understood. You are mysterious and unknowable. Many men cannot know who we are. And my advice to every man is to cherish her, to love her, to grant her her heart's deepest desires. That is the secret to a woman's heart. To you men out there, what women want and what men want are two different things. You cannot look at the woman in your life, your wife, and you cannot think that the way you think as a male. Because males, they think a lot about sex. It doesn't mean that we don't think about sex. But women think a lot about being loved and cared and, being the number one woman in your life. We have needs that is not the same needs as a man. And when a man understands this, instead of oppressing her, instead of criticizing her, instead of belittling her, lift her up. And I'm going to tell you a little secret about that woman. She can have a headache. She can be with a fever. She can have a flu. That woman, if you treat her right, she will get up and cater to you because she wants more. She needs what you're giving her. For you men out there, and you too women, you are not in competition. Women and men are not in competition. When you understand the power that woman in your life has, and you bring her to, and you give her the needs that she needs, you will see how far you men are going to go. Because now the two become one. And this is what the enemy doesn't want. Because the character that is inside both males and females is when you become one, you become a source, a powerhouse. She will give you the desires of your heart, man. And you man should give the needs that give her the desire that she wants. The Almighty One has chosen women as a vehicle through which life enters this world. Women are strong and willing to nurture others. But with all the power that women have, the woman only has one defect. We women have only one defect. Not recognizing her worth and how valuable she is. In Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23, it talks about the problems of life. Keep, protect, and maintain your heart, which is the seat of emotions, your affection, without diligence. For out of it are the problems of life. The power that lies within a woman is in her unique created spirit, her emotions, the cares for others. This is the number one problem that men and women have because they don't understand each other. Men say they don't understand women. They say, I don't understand the woman in my life. And women say, I don't understand the man in my life. Why is that? Because men and women are wired differently. They were created, but they were put together differently. Let us focus to understand the nature and assignment of a female in a man's world. A woman and a man are different. How are men and women different? Let me give you an example, and I'm almost done. The reason men don't understand women is because of this. A woman will never tell you what she's thinking. She will tell you what she feels. And most women don't understand men because a man doesn't tell you what he's feeling, but he's telling you what he thinks. Why is that? A woman is emotional, a man is logical. It is important to know the difference. A woman is in a position of power, can be very dangerous things because more often than not, she is motivated by emotions and not reason or logic. If war were to be fought by women, they would never end. The greatest weapon that the devil has in his armory are the daughters of Jezebel and Delilah. Those beautiful yet evil seducers whose mission in life is to destroy men that are called the greatest by Elohim. The greatest weapon that Elohim has in his essential arsenal are the daughters of Zion. Those beautiful and wise, prayerful, discerning, prudent, patient, kind, loyal women who are faithful unto death and who are enforcers and guardians of God's purpose in the lives of men. A man's mind can learn something from a woman's emotional heart. A woman's emotional heart can learn something from the man's mind, the logic. When the man, listen very carefully, when the mind of a man, which is logic, and the heart of a woman, emotion of a woman, comes together, both can listen and communicate to learn from each other. Then both will understand each other better, and the two will become one. Women, you have the poor, you have, and please don't take this the wrong way, you men, and you women, don't use your power to destroy. Because only evil women like Jezebel and Delilah will come to destroy men. Women, you have the power to control men in the world. Without you, men have nothing and can do nothing. And man's dependency on a woman is rooted in a woman's different parts. This will stay as long as the man is born of a woman and to the end of the world. You must, however, use your power to be fulfilled in your relationship. If you put the focus on yourself and selfishly abuse your power, you will give your man an overdose and turn him into a toke of a living dead. He can no longer respond to your loving charm. Your power is good. Men need it, but without true love, your power will be dominated by fear. This is especially true of women who use all kinds of occults, threats, and manipulation to control their men. And this is to you men. Men, fear women. Not in a bad way. Women have extraordinary power over men and can do almost anything they want to with their men. Today's studies show that 95% of all decisions of men are done under the influence of a woman. It is also known that the major rush of information men receive about themselves come from women. Men have the power to do all the physical labor, but women do the remote control. Men, beware of women's love, for at the slightest hurt, it can turn into hate. Women's gossip and talk, yet a woman keeps deeper secrets than any man. Samuel Jackson, a psychologist, says, nature has given women so much power that the law can only give them less. Women will always have power over men. Now, this is what Samuel Jackson said. If you want to do well with you, if you want all to go well with you and live long, take a simple advice. Be careful of women. There are good women and there are bad women. A wise woman will build her home, build her business, build her family, build her friendship. But a foolish woman will come to destroy a home, destroy a family, destroy a business, destroy a relationship. So you men out there, because we know that the weakness of a man is a woman. Sometimes you can see a beautiful woman with a beautiful shape. But see, what makes a woman is what's inside of her. Not everything that shines is gold. The power of a woman is natural in every woman. And not necessarily something that needs to be learned as much as needs to be claimed, owned, and acknowledged. Deep inside of every woman, there's a power waiting to be unleashed into the world. When you embark in the path of embracing your power, woman, you will discover unlimited wisdom, and it's a way beyond what you can ever imagine. The power of a woman means living without limitations and not letting other people's viewpoints get in the way of our awareness and choices. This is the place where we can function without judgment, without reason or justification, and create a life that goes beyond the limitations of what the rest of the world thinks is important. Most of women spend their time whining about the past rather than putting their energy on what they would like to create as their life and living. Ladies, happiness and fulfillment is all in the mind, not in how big your breasts are, not how many facials you have had, not that your body looks like a Coca-Cola. Is in your mind, is in your heart, is in your spirit. I became aware that the responsibility is mine to create a new playing field. It's dependent on me and what I choose. I promised myself that whatever happened, I would never again make choices simply to fit into this reality, to fit in with everybody else, to impress others, or gain status. I would listen to my awareness, to follow my instincts and my knowing. Most of us have been raised to think that in order to be happy, we have to change our external world, such as finding what we love, doing what we are passionate about, and surround ourselves with people who we love, and eliminate the negative people in our life, etc., etc., etc. We have been programmed to depend on others to gain happiness, instead of recognizing that happiness always comes from within. Our happiness is within our control. We can make a choice to take charge of our wandering mind by being present throughout our day and training ourselves to put our full attention on what we are doing. In our responsibility to seize the day, to live each precious moment fully and with gusto. When we change our outlook and the way we choose to live our life and create our reality, we change the world around us. We can be the choice for a different possibility for this world. So often, it is our presence alone rather than some special ability that makes the difference. I will leave you with these two quotes. And these two quotes were written by Eleanor Roosevelt. Quote number 1. The purpose of life is to live it, to taste experience to the utmost, and to reach out eagerly and without fear for newer and richer experience. Quote number 2. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Until next time, this is Maria Simpson from First Yahudin Messianic Temple. Thank you. Shavua Tov.